this video, you will learn some tips for communicating with your club and with the rest of your school to advocate for your club. Now, this may sound obvious, but what you don't communicate, no one will know. Without communication, new members won't find out about the club, and even current members won't know what's going on from week to week. Think about what Apostle Paul says about spreading the gospel in Romans chapter 10, verse 14. How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one of whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? The point is, effective communication is vital for keeping your club alive and thriving. So let's start with some common methods you can use for communicating with and for your club. There's face-to-face conversation, texting, video calls, email, social media, and more. When choosing which methods you want to use for your club, it may be helpful to ask questions such as, which platforms are my club members already comfortable using? Which ones do they check the most? What are the pros and cons of each method? Chances are you will use multiple methods. Feel free to choose as many as your leadership team can comfortably keep up with. Decide with each other what will work best for your club. Now, let's talk about the different groups you will be communicating with as a club leader. First, it's important to keep in touch with all of your club members, letting them know things like when and where you'll be meeting. We highly recommend that you have a group chat or similar platform to be able to quickly and effectively get important messages out. Aside from sharing announcements, having a group chat is also a great way to build deeper fellowship between your members outside of just the club meetings. As a quick tip, be sure to monitor the settings of your chat so that only club leaders can make certain changes. In addition to a group chat for the entire club, it's also helpful to have a separate group chat for the club leaders and your seeker staff. You can use it for planning out the meetings and discussing any private club-related matters that don't involve everyone. Another important person to keep in touch with is your club or faculty advisor. Club advisors are your allies, and they serve as an important liaison to your school's administration. Ask them questions and share ideas. Be sure to have a way to contact them and know where to find them during the day. The final crucial members of your team are your seeker staff. They are mentors and guides for you, and they would be happy to share their perspective and experience from working with other schools, so be sure to keep them in the loop. Let's move on to communicating with the rest of your school. Be sure to stay up to date with any correspondence from your school regarding your club. You might be asked to attend a mandatory club leaders meeting or to submit important time-sensitive documents such as budget requests. When it comes to promoting the club to your peers, here are a few tips. Find out your school's policy on putting up flyers. Make sure your flyers clearly have the club's name, the time and location you meet, and anything else you would like prospective members to know. Consider submitting an announcement to be read over the loudspeaker, or find out how you can have the club info sent out through an email blast or another platform with your admin's help. Most schools have club fairs or other in-person events in which clubs can promote themselves. Find out when those events are, and don't leave it up to chance. Coordinate with your members, your advisor, and your seeker staff to prepare for it. Now, we spoke a lot about the logistical side of communication. We can now talk about the emotional side. I'm sure you can agree that miscommunication creates problems. So let's talk about ways you can communicate more effectively and minimize unnecessary conflict. Here are a few things to be mindful of. First, your audience. How you speak with your fellow students might be different from how you would speak with your school's administration. Know when it's appropriate to have a more friendly, informal approach versus a formal, professional one. Next, be mindful of your timing. What time of day are you reaching out? Be aware of when those you're communicating with might be in class, doing homework, or even sleeping if you choose to reach out very late at night. Also, are you giving people enough time to respond and plan accordingly? For example, if you're canceling a club meeting, how far in advance are you letting the members know? Third, be mindful of your method. Some conversations are fine to have via text, while other, more sensitive topics may call for a face-to-face conversation. If you're nervous on how to discuss a sensitive topic, consider involving your club advisor or your seeker staff. On a similar note, be mindful of your tone or energy, which includes your body language. How you say it can sometimes be even more important than what you're saying. Ask yourself, do I seem annoyed, bossy, or cheerful, welcoming? How would I feel if I were on the other end of this conversation? Whether through text or face-to-face interactions, be aware of how you might come off to others. And last but not least, be mindful of your engagement. Communication is a two-way street. Are you so focused on what you want to say that you're not really listening to the other party? James 1:19 reads, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Whether in the meetings or in your group chats, be attentive to what others are sharing. Listen actively and ask questions if you don't understand what someone has said. Respond to what they've shared in a way that shows you care. We wish you the best on your leadership journey, and as always, if you have any questions or concerns, be sure to reach out to your Seeker staff.